Hiya. Now, every now and again, I like to do something that you could probably consider a wee bit controversial. So, as you can tell by the title of this, it's not exactly DC. But the more I thought about it earlier on today, the more you could connect it to DC. But I'm not all just about DC. I'm trying to get my own self out there. So for anybody who still wants to subscribe, but probably lose subscribers, whatever, um, and then they'll get a real sense of who I am and where I'm coming from. Oh no, is it true? So what brought this on? Uh, it's a couple of things, It's by the way, this could also be a test. This will let me find out more about you. By whatever you react to it, you either watch it will tell me something about yourselves, or if you don't watch it, will then tell me about yourselves. If you like it, dislike it, all will tell me stuff about it. So what brought this on? Well, you're on Facebook, right? And if you're like me, you'll just send friend requests out and stuff like that. And and then you'll get somebody that sends you religious stuff, right? Jesus and God and everything else, right? You tell them, sorry, I'm not into that sort of thing, right? Or you could be scrolling down your Facebook page and somebody's made some sort of comment about, some sort of saying in the Bible and it's against being gay and stuff. And if you've been following, I've already made another controversial video about gay DC and stuff. If you haven't watched it, check down the. I'll leave a link at the end of the video, hopefully. So, and then you look at Man of Steel, and there's a lot of biblical references to that, and he goes to church and he talks to the minister. He sees Jonathan. Yeah, he sees Jor-El in the spaceship, flies back. He's in that arc. People see him as a god and stuff, especially in BVS. And there's all that sort of the three crosses behind him, the art, the scene where he's got the red cape around him and he's dying for all sins and stuff like that. He's got the red cape with the three crosses, all to do with the famous artwork and stuff. And then you get the debate on the TV about, does it throw God and religion out the window and stuff. And I don't know if that's. I mean, I get where they wanted to go with BVS and make Superman into a all sort of God thing. But uh, I think to myself, is is would it be much better if we never saw him as a god, but as an alien, right? There was an old episode. I'll try and make clear what I'm trying to say is. I remember an old episode of Star Trek, or even my late father saying stuff like this. And what if this the spaceships that we claim to see aren't aliens, but us from the future, right? What about if it's actually us? Uh, and so that's I mean, so our future selves would look basically like superpowered, but for us in the future, it's just the norm. So for anybody to see a person that looks like us perform these extraordinary, feats of power and stuff like that, they would look sort of, godlike. But I would have loved to seen, it's just weird. I don't know. I would just to see aliens. It's hard to see Superman as an alien when he looks like us, But And when you see them flying over the tanks and stuff like that, you think to yourself, are you thinking to yourself godlike, or are you thinking about, wow, that's an alien ability and stuff, and so it's sort of weird, and it drives the question: what would the world be like without religion? Right, without religion in it, and I will, depending on how this video fares, I may do a video on why either religion is bad or why I'm an atheist, so to speak. Right? Now I watch this guy, David Icke. I'll put a video towards him. Now when this guy came out, he it was like something happened. Okay, he was a respectable guy. He was a television thing, and my generation sort of remembers him from an interview he had, and it was being erratic. But now he's managed to collect all this evidence and quotes from scientists and professors and people high standing from all over the world, right? The people that you would respect, and not just philosophers, but like musicians as well, and because they do have a lot of power in the world, do musicians, and the way he talks about religion and everything, and he says, right, have your religion, but what I but just but be an individual, right? He sees everybody on a level playing field, right? Everyone's equal, right? And that's the way I see people. I'm not going to put him. I'm not going to try and use him as an example. I'm going to just talk from the heart, okay? And what I do, if you want to check out his stuff, go. What you want is David Icke live at Wembley, and it's on Amazon Prime, and I think you can go to YouTube and see some of it. I can't guarantee it's all. It was sold out and stuff, and it was quite interesting. And if you bear with it to the very end, you could find it sort of uplifting. But how does this connect again with DC or the internet and stuff? Well, and I'll get to that in a minute. For me, to be religious or to follow anything, right? It's very narrow-minded because you have only one vision, and with that vision, you will complain or try to get other people to follow your vision. You can't see outside this box if you're a religious person. Okay, you're wondering why this person isn't following you, and why this, and it's the same thing happens on Facebook. If you have an argument with somebody, and it's pointless having an argument on the internet because you don't have to face, you're not changing anybody's opinion. You're not changing anything. The only way you can change is by action for me. And I don't mean a violence or fighting action, but by going out in the public and speaking out and standing out and talking and everything else, or doing things in order to help prove your point. And I'm talking about goodwill and stuff like that. And but on Facebook and on YouTube, what you get is you got all those trolls and everything else. And if somebody is saying something that you don't like, you'll not pay attention to it. Take this video for instance. I wonder how many people saw the headline, right, and not bother because they're religious, right? So the minute they see is religion a conspiracy, they'll not watch it because they're religion and they're not open-minded. And this is the main thing that I want to talk about, is being open-minded. And if you're open-minded, then you're willing to listen to somebody for an hour, to listen to everything they've got to say, without just being oh, he mentioned that, I'm going to turn this guy off. But if you sit and everybody listens to everyone, the world will definitely become better. And that's the problem. No one's listening. Everybody's got their own agenda, and we forget to just. And here's another thing. Okay, gay marriages. Okay, or women priests and everything else. Uh, do I firmly believe that the church is all behind that? No. What they're doing is they're just trying to change a book that they've probably written for themselves, and now they see it's unpopular and they want to grab more people back into the church. And well, wait a minute, people not believe in us anymore. How can we govern people? How can we control people again? And it's we'll become what we'll become what they need us to be, so they will come to and that's how manipulative the world can be. And 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 what I don't get is, if you look closely at every religion, they're all the same. They all expect from you the same commitment. You go to church, you see somebody, they tell you how to behave for this guy, and then and that's roughly how it goes with most religions. You go to some place and you go down on your knees, or you go on all fours, or whatever, and some of the most of the book that they read from has all the same stories, has all the same things, and it's all so that should make us, you know, all the same. That should that so and so we get to this point where, when you listen to these people talking about their ideas of what will happen, when you die, what will, or how you should act in the world, right? And because it's not got a religious cult connected to it, it's called a conspiracy. Who shot John F. Kennedy? Was there a man on the moon? Who's secretly controlling us? Is there a USA? Who shot John F. Kennedy? Who's man on the moon? Is there secret societies, right, controlling everything? Are there ghosts, spirits, aliens? You name it, right? All of them, or everybody who's claimed to have witnessed something or seen something, or they're either a nutter or they're a conspiracy theory. But you tell somebody that there's a guy hundreds of thousands of years ago walked across the water and fed people with a basket that somehow turned into a load of food to people, will somehow believe that because it's somebody had written that, and then somebody will come up with an idea saying, oh, you've got to have it as faith. Faith is in everything, but the main faith that I like to believe in is in yourself. Now we look at Aquaman. Right, Aquaman is discovering Atlantis. Right, discovering Atlantis. Now there is a place that myths say was ahead of its time. Right, there's many cities all around the world that have seemed to have technology beyond, right, long before school, long before education and everything else, mathematics and stuff like that, or some sort of religious order or whatnot. There were these people that were building pyramids and sphinxes and monuments and buildings and stargazing and everything else, and Atlantis was meant to be top of the notch, people out there, and then it got all wiped out. Right? And I'm not going to go fully deep in that. I'll probably save that for another lecture, or you can. There's more to that story, and why they could have been wiped out, and why it might fall down to us. And then if you think back to the past with all those wars happening, most of the wars were either caused by, was it caused by religion? Or are the wars today fought by religious means? But if you talk to the people, not the ones in charge, but yourself or people around you, do you want a war? Do you want to kill people? No. But religion and politics, they all want you to do it. So should we not consider, as if we can put religion into a conspiracy theory on a way of how to control the people and get people's minds, transfixed on that, on religion, so people can start manipulating you by controlling you through that medium? Is that a conspiracy, or can it be a belief? Because that can be just as much of a belief as in supporting these ministers or these people that somehow have wrote a book and is telling you, I've read this book and this is what this book means. Right? When you take somebody else to read that book, they can take something else from it. People need something to believe in and everything. What they don't. I grew up watching Star Trek and read comics, and have you seen in my other video, people are inspired by that and how they act. Now these people from Atlantis or all these other people, they never had Jesus and they never had Muhammad or anything like that. It's because they searched within themselves, they governed themselves in some weird way, and if you think about it deeply, you know that you're a good person. People can be born in bad families and do bad, but that young one can grow up to be different, and I've witnessed it. I've witnessed children being raised in racist homes and everything like that, and turn out completely different from their parents, because there is a goodness in every one of us. And so when I watch these DC TV programs and they give me a sense of what's right and wrong in heroes, and that's coming from somebody's mind. So it's good that way, but what is the point in this video? The point I'm trying to make is whatever we believe in. Let me put it this way. We spend our time on Facebook. We spend our time on YouTube. We spend our time, and we've been listening to clickbait articles. We are being like sheep, being led by one word, right, or by one headline, and by somebody saying, we have just heard this is what's going to be happening in the future of DC. This is what's going to be happening. We are being swept away by the medium. We are being sort of, brainwashed into believing. I mean, see, listening to me, right? You're probably thinking he's a nutcase. But I'm just being honest to what my thoughts are, and everybody in the world, whether you've been gay, whether you've been, or are you transgender or anything like that, okay? Everybody's different, everybody's unique, and everybody's loved, right? And everybody should be, respected. There's some religions out there that would dispute that. And there's some religions where, women cannot show their face out in public. There are women where the man is in charge and women have no equal rights, and now we're living in a world that's changing. So religion is really becoming, outdated. It's religion, hopefully for me, will become just like a conspiracy that people just take with a pinch of salt, and that's what I hope for the future. That is what I hope for the future. And with heroes like Superman, Batman and Aquaman out there, I think without religion, we'll be quite good. We'll be fine. Just look at the young ones and how they inspire to be good. And I look at my boy sometimes, and he's never went to church. You know, he's never. I've never told him to go down on hands and knees and whatnot. But he goes out there and he helps people. He's kind to people, and everything else, and that's without religion. So for me, yeah, religion can just be a conspiracy. And who do I thank for having a good moral compass?